business student, or a newbie in the business world, or just searching for ideas, this podcast is definitely for you. Welcome to the BLAS Podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss some business-related topics and insights. Also, daily life issues and concerns for common people. We give you some quick ideas and knowledge on how to empower you.
Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode of the BLAS Podcast, and we will talk about difficult people are around the corner. You encounter them, whether in your work area or on your way to somewhere, or when doing some errands outside your home, or even in your home alone. They are people who are hard to deal with. They may be the complainant, person who always telling you that your ideas can't work or even wrong. The yes person, or that person who always says yes, but he didn't understand what you are saying. Always believes that he is the center of the universe. Always thinks that he is always correct and does not accept others' ideas and inputs. The negative Nancy. People almost impossible to please and always criticize and judge you no matter what your efforts are, and among others. Did you encounter them, whether in your work area or on your daily life? How do you deal with them? I wanted to give you some ideas on how to deal with these difficult people. Here are some ideas on how to deal with difficult people. Number 1. Establish a zero tolerance policy. The most powerful tool in dealing with difficult people is to apply zero tolerance policy. When doing a zero tolerance policy, we must ensure that we must stay calm so that we can address inappropriate behavior consistently and decisively. We must make it clear that this policy must be applied for everyone. Number 2. Don't let difficult people set the tone. We should not tolerate bad habits and practices done by these difficult people. With patience and calmness taking in place, we must talk to them and explain carefully the consequences of their actions. Number 3. Don't forget to listen. Listening is one of the key steps in dealing with unreasonable people. Do remember that everyone wants to be heard. No progress can take place until that person felt acknowledged. While listening, understand and focus on what the other person is saying, and don't focus on what and how to rebut them. Number 4. Don't jump into conclusion. We don't know what the other person is going through. Chances are, if the person is acting unreasonable, they are likely feeling some sort of vulnerability. We must understand his or her reasons before judging them. Number 5. Work out a solution jointly. Make room for more inputs from the other party. It should be their declaration of interdependence before drawing up a corrective plan of action. Because being a dictator won't get you the behavioral changes you're looking for. In that way, you will empower them to think and work in a way that's more helpful to all. Number 6. Reflect respect and dignity toward the other person. No matter how the other person is treating you, showing contempt and anger will not help to resolve the problem. Number 7. Don't act defensively. We naturally wanted to defend ourselves more so if the other person is telling nasty and untrue things about us. Do remember that the other person is on top of his emotions, therefore, being defensive will just add fire. Number 8. Don't argue or try to convince the other person of anything. If we argue, it will just make them more irate. Number 9. Don't return anger with anger. If other person raises his voice, don't raise your voice. If the other person points his finger unto you, don't point your finger unto him. Because this will add fuel to an already heated situation. Instead, calm down. Use low and monotone voice, and wait until the other person takes a breath and they speak. Number 10. Make sure the other person understands. In dealing with difficult person, it is important to make sure that they understand well what you are trying to figure out. Let them ask and clarify things so that you will lead to a common understanding. You may solicit ideas on how to solve the problem. Number 11. Thank them for their cooperation. As philosopher William James said, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Saying thank you is a symbol of gratitude that inspired them to keep looking the wow factor. In an office setting where we encounter difficult people, and when you notice a good output on their work, and saying thank you is not capitulation as some may see it. That's a strategic move to encourage good habit. Remember, gratitude is an investment. If you give it, you will reap the dividends. Number 12. Master the art of difficult conversations. You have to be careful in choosing words, your tone of voice, and making sure you address the performance as opposed to making the employee himself feel threatened. You have to trust your instincts. If your gut is saying, this is going downhill fast, be ready to do what you need to do to remain safe. Look for an exit strategy and remain flexible because every person is unique and may respond differently. Number 13. Discharge your own stress. It is very important to know how to discharge your own stress. You must study yourself on how you can release the stress by not letting other person harmed. Don't let the emotions stay stuck in your body because it will affect your mental and emotional health.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you will be notified when new episodes are posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you're living with new things and ideas that you may use in your life. So, let's empower ourselves and achieve that bright future. Until next time.